Welcome to the USA, where everyone needs Gimmic. The Lakewood Six are back, trying to get over the pain they had to go through the year before. Emma returns home from a psych ward to find another string of murders pop up. Will this be the final moment for this final girl? The Good. Pacing. The pacing of the episodes and amount of them are smooth narrative-wise and easy to get through. Each episode is a chapter in this 12-chapter book. It is fun to get through and everything seems to come to a head fine. Mystery. What a murder mystery needs to be entertaining is a good mystery, and this season the ante is upped with more twists and characters to scratch your heads at. Character development. Remember what I said about the last season? Well, each character in his perspective gets an overhaul of who they are, including Brooke, and to a different extent, Kieran. Good job, writers. That's what makes us care if they die or not. Some are left out in the cold again, but we'll get to that in the bad. Emma. So what I just said, everyone seemed to get some more development as characters, except for Emma. She still seems just like a regular nobody. They gave her PTSD, but it still doesn't seem to be improving how I feel about her. Maybe it's the actress, though I seriously doubt it. Throwaway characters. Now I love me some new characters, especially the ones who they let have some screen time, but some of the ones that they're added this season were just there to either be killed, which I understand, were there to act creepy in order to throw off the audience, or had story arcs that were written off with one sentence. Don't get me wrong, most of the characters they brought in added to the story, but the ones that weren't needed left a big spot on the plot for me to try to ignore. Plot spot. TM. Clues didn't matter. The more they learned, it seemed that it wasn't relevant to the mystery, but to cause drama and paranoia, which you can argue was part of the killer's plan, but it happened too much for that to be a valid argument. Unrealistic. Now, give me a second. I hate people who argue about realism in media, too. I don't mean the type of realism like, oh, he left a knife there and now it's not, or it's not that easy to put a pitchfork through someone. No. What I mean is the realism that is in the plot. Plot spots is what I call them. One character showed up because the killer texted them from someone's phone, but nothing came of it. Why did the killer want them there? Didn't make any sense, really. I'll give another example in the spoiler section. Spoiler section. I'll give a second to warn you. Don't listen to this unless you've seen Season 2. It is good. Go watch it. I know what you're saying to yourself right now. You're saying, I'm never going to watch it. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But if you ever find yourself in the mood for this fun slasher, you will have robbed yourself of that pleasure by stepping any closer to this. Okay? It was completely out of character for Noah to suck that guy's dick. I tricked you! That didn't happen. Seriously, go back and watch it. If you haven't seen it, it's worth it. Let's do this one more time. Kieran as the killer made sense after he explained it, but it still didn't make any sense. How could someone act like that as Emma's loving and caring boyfriend for 2 seasons, and then all of a sudden turn into that twisted type of person? Now, personally, I don't believe it. You can believe it, but I think it's really out of character for that. I honestly just think it was the writers trying to get the biggest twist, and by that extension, the biggest pat on the back. But I'll give you this, writers. Fuck you. Yeah, it made us feel bad at ourselves for liking Kieran. We felt betrayed. But honestly, we were just confused. I'll let the Kieran thing slide, but I have another gripe. The whole time since last season to now, you had us thinking that Audrey was the accomplice, and then just dropping it as she was like pen pals with her, saying she wanted to make a documentary. How would making a documentary bring Emma down? Which is what Audrey wanted to see in her letters, which was just kind of tossed aside. Not only that, but we are to imagine that Emma's alright now that's over, even though she had a mental breakdown after the last time. Now she's betrayed by the boy she loves, and she just snaps out of that, like, love like that without any ramification, like distrust. And is Stevan and his dad all of a sudden good just because he sees him crying over Brooke? Okay, now I'm just nitpicking, but you get my point. Rant over. I hope you know, now that you listened to that without watching the Season 2, I've ruined it all for you. You'll not get any enjoyment out of it. You're going to start dating someone who you will love. One day she'll throw this on as the next show for you both to watch, and while you nod and watch along as they get into it, and you know everything, you'll let one little spoiler slip into the conversation. They'll get mad at you and start a fight. that person will find someone else to watch it with, inevitably falling in love with that person and leaving you alone, depressed and a cuck. Best character. I'll have to give the best character position to Noah Foster, the voice of the morgue. And Lady Killer. Sorry man, tough break. He's always so fun to watch with his awkward charisma on screen. I really like this actor, I hope he does more. As long as it's exactly like Noah here. And no one else ever. The ass blasting. Let me just start this out saying I really enjoyed the second season. It was fun to watch and get into. But I really don't think there's any rewatch value. Once you know, and it's not really interesting to watch without being in the character's shoes. It's not as good as the first season, but it is still cool to watch. The characters are all fun to get to know and love, which is why we tune in to watch them die. And we become paranoid when we think we know who the killer is. Ultimately, it's nice to get a twist out of it all and not see it coming, which we didn't here, but no matter what we see, it will never be as good as what was in our heads. In the first season, I was worried about the show being a carbon copy of the original Scream, but watching the second season, I feel like they really made it their own, and I hope to see a third one. MTV just ordered the third season, but because of the viewership, they want to change the show up, rumor being changing the show's showrunners, which I would be against, especially if they touch Noah or Audrey. Plus, the season has been announced to have 6 episodes instead of 10 or 13 like the last 2. They left it open to do the third season right, but I don't know if we will because you can't keep getting a massacre every year on the same group of kids without the town being evacuated. But in the words of Noah Foster, maybe you will always be Murderville. I'll give it 2 stripes. Clear your schedules, gentlemen!